Hey guys, I'm up here on Jones Peak, and in this video I'm going to show you how to hike to Jones Peak from Bailey Canyon. We are in the Front Range of Angeles National Forest in LA, and it's only a 6-mile round-trip hike out and back, but there's 2,200 feet of climbing, so it is tough. Don't let the short distance fool you. You're going to have to work for it, but when you get to the top, you get beautiful views into LA. It's a little hazy today, but you get beautiful views into LA. And back into Angeles National Forest, Mount Yale, Mount Harvard, which are behind me right now. Now, if you want to do the hike, I have all the details on HikingGuy.com, including maps and everything you know to do the hike. And you can also print those directions out, save them as a PDF file on your phone if you need to refer to them, all of that stuff. And as you're watching the video, if you like it, if you find it useful, if you find it enjoyable, if you could do me a big favor and click the little thumbs up button, helps me out a ton, helps other people find the video, so thank you for that. All right, guys, let's start earning this peak. Let's go.
All right, so the hike starts at the Bailey Canyon Wilderness Park, and it's a nice little local park, and there's plenty of parking and a bathroom. And here's the trail sign telling us that Jones Peak is 3.3 miles away. Now we're going to head through the park here. There's a neat trail board that shows all the interconnecting trails in the region. Check that out. It's interesting. And then go through the park all the way to the other end of the park, and there's a gate going through to the road. We're going to go through here. There's a cute sign telling you not to feed the animals. At the beginning, there's some twists and turns. It can get a little confusing, but once you get onto the trail proper, it's pretty straightforward. So we're going to hike up the paved road. We're going to go past the reservoir over here on our right and go a little bit downhill, and eventually the pavement ends and it gets a little bit smaller. It's not quite a trail yet. We're not quite there yet, but we're going to go up this dirt portion, and then we're going to pass a bridge on the right, which is a little nature trail, a shorter trail. And there's a trail sign here too. It's all really well marked with the style of signs that you see around Chantry Flat and this part of the San Gabriels. Now once the canyon gets narrow here, the trail goes up, starts going up to the right, up ahead. And when we get to this split, this is an important one, you want to make the right and go uphill. And there's a sign again, it's well marked. Now, we're going to do about 2,100 feet of climbing from this point, and it's tough, but it is steady, it's well graded, and it's easy to get in a rhythm as you climb up here. You can see the trail is really well maintained as we go up the steep sides of Bailey Canyon. Some parts have stairs, there's reinforcements. The trail crews who work here do a really good job, so thank you for that, guys and gals, I appreciate it. Down there you can see the Christian retreat down there. I have a little bit of history on that. But otherwise, we're going to keep going uphill. There's a couple little spurs you saw over to the right that go over to overlooks. But we're going to keep going straight, and just about just under a mile, 0.8 miles, we're going to come to this overlook with these nice benches. Unfortunately, the day I shot this is a little bit hazy, but when it's clear, you can see all the way to Catalina. It's pretty nice. From the benches, we're going to keep on going up, as you would have imagined, and you'll be able to see the trail stretch up there ahead of you. You can see kind of some hikers up ahead winding up the switchbacks. Now, when we get to this spot here, we can go either way. It's just a really short little diversion there, but once they come back together, we're going to continue to go uphill here. There's some steps, and obviously you get some beautiful, beautiful views as you climb up here in the foothills. The foothills are a great place because you get the views of the mountains and the canyons, and also right down into suburban LA, which you probably are familiar with, and you can spot landmarks and all that fun stuff. Just to give you an idea how steep it is, look at the edge right here. That's Bailey Canyon down there. Before this trail was built, it was a place where people had to be rescued a lot. And this is actually where the Sierra Madre rescue team got started. And I have a little bit of the history of the trail and all of that rescue stuff on the website. But when you get to this little flat section here, the trail goes straight where I just pointed, but we're going to go left and go over to the cabin ruins, which is a nice shaded spot where you can take a break before you do the last mile. I have a little bit of a history on the cabin as well on the website. You can check that out. But do that, then head back to the trail. We're going to do the last mile or so up to the summit, which has more switchbacks. They're tighter, they're steeper. Take your time. It's about a mile, a little under a mile up to the saddle, and it's kind of tough. So just take your time, enjoy the views like this. You can see how far up we've gone already. Gone at least 1,500 feet at this point as we head up to the summit. And eventually, after all that climbing, you're going to get up to Jones Peak Saddle, which is right here. Again, it's really well marked. You can go straight up to the Mount Wilson Road and Yale and Harvard Peaks, but we're going to go right and get nice views into Little Santa Anita Canyon, where the Mount Wilson Trail is. And then we're going to go uphill, and it's kind of steep, and it breaks apart and comes back together. It doesn't really matter which way you go. Whichever way you go, you're going to get to the summit here, and this is the summit area. There's a neat little heart. You can Instagram yourself there. That's always nice. And if you keep going straight, there's a bench and a pile of rocks with, on this day there's a sign. You know, sometimes people steal signs, but there's a sign. And this is Jones Peak. This is the summit.
So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a fun little hike if you have not done it already, and it's relatively close to civilization, so you don't have to drive too far into the backwoods to start the hike. And again, I have all that information on HikingGuy.com, so make sure you check that out before you go. If you stick around for a second, I'll show you what the hike looks like on a map, guys, but otherwise, I will see you out on the trails. All right, bye-bye.
All right, so here we are. You can see right away that there's a lot of climbing. You're basically flat in the beginning here, and then you're going straight up to Jones Peak. And if we zoom down here, this is the parking area. We cut through that little park there. We're on the paved road, past the reservoir, up into the canyon here, past that nature trail. And if I swing this around, you can see this was where the trail split was. There's a small trail going up this canyon, but then we start climbing up right away. And these are a little skewed because I think the satellite photo, you don't really go downhill on these switchbacks. This was the bench right there that I showed you on the way up, just under a mile. And then we have a little bit of flat section, and then there's a ton of switchbacks as you climb up, all the way up to the ruins of the cabin, which are right over here. There are the ruins of the cabin. We have a little bit of a downhill. You can see this is sort of a shaded little valley in there. And then from there, we have another steep section of switchbacks right there. There we go. Switchbacks, and then we come up to the saddle right here. And then we do the little right-hand turn and go up to Jones Peak. And from here, the views are very expansive. You can see there's all these sprawl of LA suburbs. There's Catalina in the distance. On a clear day, you can see over to San Jacinto as well. And then if you look back this way, let me angle this up a little bit, you can see Yale, Harvard, and Wilson over here. So that's the hike. It's definitely a tough one, but the fact that it's not super long makes it doable. If it's tough for you, just take your time, obviously. Enjoy it, enjoy the views, and know that you are doing a tough little butt kicker of a climb.